I recently did something that I like to call a life inventory. So every once in a while, when I kind of need a little bit of a boost, I guess, maybe I need to feel like I've accomplished something, maybe just like a little bit of a good girl, good girl, which I think we all need every once in a while, right? Life can be hard, work can be hard, family can be hard, relationships can be hard. And so every once in a while, I think we just need to give ourselves the opportunity to see where we've come from and what we've managed to accomplish. And when I started to do this life inventory and I saw the things that I had been able to accomplish over my lifetime, I realized that while you're in it, it doesn't always feel like you're doing a lot. Sometimes it just feels like you're surviving, right? And a lot of times that is what we're doing. But when you get a chance to look back at it, you can start to connect the dots backwards and see that you were actually being taken someplace, that you were maybe being guided towards the person that you're meant to be. I remember, I think it's in a movie somewhere where it says, if you pray to God for patience, do you think he gives you patience or does he give you opportunities to learn to be patient? And I think that's what a lot of these things that we look back on while we're in them, it doesn't feel like a lesson, it feels just hard. So, doing these life inventories has been really helpful for me over the course of my life. One of the things I've noticed about myself is that I don't sit still well. So, I tend to start a lot of things and then quit, for lack of a better word. But I get where it's like that's not really where I feel like I need to be anymore. And I think a lot of that is because growth is like it's my jam. I always need to feel like I'm moving forward. Um, and it's funny because I actually think more than wanting to move forward, I just don't want to be standing still. To me, standing still feels like giving up. So I think there's this innate thing inside of me where I have to be moving forward, otherwise, I'm giving up. And that may not resonate for everybody, but it has served me very well over the years. And so, this idea that, all those times when I was maybe giving up on something that I had started, I wasn't I wasn't really quitting. I was just moving towards the next version of myself. And I recently heard on a podcast somebody refer to this as being a hummingbird. And I went, okay, see, I was just being a hummingbird. I can live with that. And the idea is that hummingbirds, they don't go in straight lines. They kind of like, oh, there's a flower, there's a flower, there's a flower. And they collect what they need from each of those flowers and then that is how they move forward. That's how they feed themselves, whatever. But I kind of thought, I like this idea. I like the idea of thinking of myself in all those moments when I move from project to project to project to job to job to job to, you know, um, even homes, moving around a lot. I was just being a hummingbird. I was collecting what I needed from those places, from those experiences. And what has happened now is I'm here. I've come to this place where I have a lot of skills that I wouldn't have had otherwise, right? I mean, years ago, I had a podcast that I did for the course of 2 years. It was quite amazing, the timing of it. Um, I started it in January of 2020, completely not knowing what was coming for all of us, right? In about 2 months, when the world shut down, I already had this foundation of having this podcast where I was interviewing people. And for the next 2 years, I got to look forward to having amazing conversations with incredible people all over the world that I wouldn't have had otherwise. I honestly believe that that was guided. I was meant to be there in that moment. It served its purpose. I was going to work every day. It was stressful. We were having to isolate. We were having to clean our hands, our desks. We were in this state of fear. But yet every day I got to come home and either have an amazing conversation with somebody or edit a video or work on some of the marketing material. Like I had a purpose that got me through. And I think, had I not had that, I don't know that my mental health would have been as good as it was because I've been a single empty nester for over 10 years now. So during that period of my life, coming home to an empty house and being told, stay away from people, don't socialize, isolate. As much as I do enjoy isolating as an introvert, that was still a little too much for even me. So having this to look forward to is incredible. And so when I look back over my life and I see all these things that were presented to me at exactly the right time, and how now moving into where I want to go with my life, all those skills that I've accumulated or collected, like the hummingbird, I can now put those to good use. And so I guess what I want everybody listening to this to think about is, where in your life did you maybe think that you were failing or quitting, when really it was just creating the version of yourself that you were being prepared for? Because I really believe that that's what's happening if we choose to see it that way. We make meaning of everything in our lives. So I challenge you to, if that's not the way you've seen things in your life up till now, I challenge you to decide that that is the meaning, that all of those things that you went through that didn't feel like they worked out the way that you wanted to, whether it was a relationship or a job or a business or starting something in your life and it didn't work, it wasn't a failure. It wasn't you quitting. It was you just gaining a skill or gaining something that you were going to need to be able to move into that next version of yourself.